The sack numbers are up significantly from last year. How much of that is an impact of Hassan Reddick?
Yeah, I think it's an impact of the entire defense of how they're playing. Obviously, Hassan's a great pass rusher, and so that's why we wanted to bring him here. And so he's got 10, so there's 10 additional ones right there. But I mean, it's a lot of production by a lot of different guys. It's what's pretty impressive about it. And what also is impressive is it just keeps the fact that they can stay fresh, and the numbers of the plays that they're getting, they can be, people don't sub offensive linemen, right? It's not like, hey, the offensive lineman played 37% of the plays, right? But the teams that can sub the defensive linemen, that's a huge advantage. But you don't sub unless you have the guys that you really believe in that can do it, and we definitely do have that. So a lot of credit of our sack numbers going up, deservingly so, should go to Hassan. But it's a great unit and whole, and then our secondary is doing a great job of making them hold the ball, take longer. Our defensive coaches are doing a good job of Jonathan's doing a good job of putting them in position to help make the guy hold the ball, take longer, and then obviously those guys are going out there and winning their one-on-one pass rushes.
The last month without Dallas, what have you learned about the offense? Are there things that you figured out that can help even now when he's back?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can't wait until you get him back, because he's gonna be able to. He makes a ton of plays. He's a great tight end, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And but you have to adapt when you got to adapt. Okay, well, it's the same thing when you're playing a certain style defense. You might want to run a certain set of plays, but you might not be able to because they're dictating that you can't do that. And so. We were able to get some other guys going, with Dallas being out, and Quez is the one guy that really has really stepped up big time with Dallas being down as far as his production goes. So, the thing that you learn is just that you have a lot of capable guys. It reconfirms to you that you got a lot of capable guys on this offense.
Jalen has said. And he said last year, towards the end, he said again, all throughout the offseason, that this was the first time that since his high school year that he was going to be in an offense and with the same play caller for consecutive years. What have you noticed at any point off season or in season where that's been the case, where you said, okay, the benefit of being in the offense for the second year in a row?
I think you see that a lot in his reads, right? Because that's where it's going to show up the most, because you're running similar plays that he's been running for 2 years. He's seeing different defenses. He's going to different places with the football based off of what the defense is doing. There was a play that he made. One of my favorite plays that he made in the game yesterday was a 4-yard gain to Zach Pascal. Well, why? Why would that be your favorite play? Because it was designed to go one place with the ball. We actually got the coverage we thought we were going to get. And it didn't go there because it was a little cloudy over there. So oh man, they're playing the coverage we thought we were gonna play on this one. I'm gonna deliver a ball there. It looks cloudy. Ball to Zach Pascal for a 4-yard gain, and that's a sweet play. And like those are showing you like his growth, his development of that. And so and that's a play that we've been running for a couple years, and that he's got a lot of reps on. He knows what it's supposed to look like. When it's not looking that way, he moves on. And so I think that's a really good example of that, and that's one of the plays we showed in the team meeting today of just really good quarterback play.
Nick, when you guys released Anthony Harris over in the summer, what were the conversations? And then he came back for a week on the practice squad, and then kind of went off to look for another job. What were the conversations like, and how do you make sure that things stay positive even when a guy gets cut, in case you do need to bring him back?
Well, I just think that goes back to the relationships that you form, and those are, listen, when you have to make a cut, it's not harder on anybody more than the player that's getting cut. And it's always hard on me. I always feel like, hey, we've built these relationships, and this is a hard part of the job, but it's not harder for me than it was Anthony. And so I guess where you don't, in that moment conversation, it's never going to be comfortable conversation. It's never going to be, a conversation that neither you guys want to remember. And so it's the time that leads up to that. That's what matters, right? Or the time after that connection. That's what you want to build. And it makes that conversation, the connection that you actually build throughout then makes that conversation harder, but it also keeps you connected to the guy. And then in this case, I'm really happy that we have Anthony back here. I missed him, and it's good to see his face again. It's going to be good to see him out at walkthrough today. It's going to be good to see him out at practice tomorrow, and I'm just happy to we have him back.
Go back to Jeff's question. Did you and Jalen ever reflect or talk about certain plays that he might not have made last year that he made this year, or is that all sort of unspoken?
No, I mean, we've corrected those. We've moved from those. I mean, you use plays a lot of times like, hey, look what happened last year on this one. You went there with the ball, but, you'll use them as references. But it's more, hey, how do we fix the ones that we didn't make this week? So, and what was really good about the ones we did make this week so we can continue to move forward. But you always use plays from the past to help get a coaching point across, whether that's how a quarterback reads a certain play or how a receiver runs a certain route or how tight or offensive line blocks a specific play. We have this great computer system, and we have these great video coordinators led by Pat Dolan that have so much film available to us and that we can pull from to use as teaching points.
Nick, the way you've won these last two games, do you feel like your team has found another gear here as you hit the home stretch of regular season?
I think what we just feel like is that we're improving and that we're getting better each day. And that's our goal. Like, that's all you can really think about. You can't think about, like, when we were 1-0, we couldn't think about being 12-1. All we could focus on is do we get better today? How do we get better today? How do we get better today? Like, okay, we clinched a playoff spot, but nobody's thinking about the playoffs. All we're thinking about is how we get better today. So I guess, what you've seen the last couple of weeks is just improvements, right? And then we left a lot of things on the table that we corrected and that we've corrected the last 2 days, and we sorted it out in front of the team today, and we'll get better from those things too. And that's the goal, is to improve, and so we're a little bit better next week.
Getting back to the D-line, sorry.
I get everybody.
Getting back to the D-line, the fact that BG is playing fewer snaps than he has, how has that made him more effective?
Well, it keeps him fresh. There's no doubt, and it keeps, like I said about it keeps the defensive line fresh. It not just benefits BG, it benefits all of them. That they're staying fresh and that they have everything they can give on each play. They know they got to make those plays count, and so. He's done a great job of taking advantage of the reps that he's gotten, and even though BG's not out there at times, like, he's the leader. He's one of the biggest leaders on this football team, and people thrive off of, and it's contagious. His energy is contagious, and so I think he's just having a great year.
It's been over a calendar year now that you sort of handed the play calling on to Shane. You always say you wanted to put your signature on everything about this team. How has taking that CEO approach as a coach, how has that helped you?
I think it helps me in just situational football a big time, where one thing that I think that I really feel as a benefit is, hey, Shane and myself and the offense staff are putting a plan together. And then, starting about tomorrow, I'll be able to really dive into every situation that happens. And that means throughout the league, to put ourselves in scenarios throughout the league that are going to, so we've went through it before it happens, right? And we got to, and Shane's at that point, Shane's going to be like, all right, what am I going to call in this scenario? Now we go through all that, but Shane's going to really have a feel for that, and I think that's when he's there studying, certain things of orders of how he's going to call some things here and there, I'm able to do some of the things that are going to be necessary for 4th down decisions or 2-minute decisions or 4-minute decisions, or some of those things that I got to really be on, right? And because we know the margin of error in this league is very small. And I got to be on my duties as a head coach. I got to be all on those things and be convicted on when I'm making decisions, and not just blind conviction based off of major studying. And that's what, after the plan's in, right, after Shane and myself and the offense staff have put the plan in, that's kind of the way, we kind of go. I'm working on that part of it. Shane's working on this part of it. And I feel a big benefit from that. And I know we're getting better in our process each day with that and each week.
Offenses and coaches throughout the years and scouted prospects, did Mike Leach resonate with you at all?
Yeah, yeah, he did, and he'll be missed. I know that he's touched, particularly our guys in our building. I know he's touched guys in our building, with Gardner playing for him, with Andre playing for him, and so. Yeah, I mean, he was always always exciting to watch the way his team. As a wide receiver, as a quarterback, anytime a team's throwing it 60 times, you're like, what did they do right there? How did they do this? And we've definitely gotten plays from his tape that we still run today and that we liked and that were very interesting. And then I just think he had an awesome way about him of, everything, the way he coached, the energy he coached with, the way he talked to the media. Like, there's just a lot of things to like about the man. He'll be missed in this sport. But I think Cliff Kingsbury said it. He left this sport better than before he was in it. And I think that's pretty cool legacy to have, that you leave a place better, you leave your profession better than when you came in. And that's a tribute to who Coach Leach was as a coach, as a person, and everything.
Couple more?
You spent a lot of time with Matt Eberflus throughout your career. How cool is it for you to now look across the sideline and see someone you essentially grew your coaching career alongside?
Yeah, that is cool. That is really cool, because I got a lot of respect for Flus and everything that he stands for. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I really do. We had a lot of talks, whether that's, hey, how we're getting ready for practice, how we're going to do this segment of practice or this and that. Frank kind of would set the stage and he said, you two figure out how you're going to go through this and in training camp or whatnot. And I'm happy for him that he's, because it's well deserved that he is in the position he's in right now as the head coach of a good organization. And so it is neat. You build friendships with people. He probably lived. I probably couldn't have thrown a baseball to his house from where I live, from my house, but some guy, Jalen probably could. So our families got to know each other. He's got a great family, and he's a great person. He's a great football coach. I'm happy for him that he's in this as the head coach, and I know that I just know how good of a coach he is too, and that we're gonna have to be on our stuff, because I know he's gonna have them on their stuff.
Last one, and the locker room's open.
Jalen, you can go ahead if you want.
I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but speaking of Jalen, Micah Parsons had some thoughts on Jalen's position in the MVP race and what it's attributed to. Did you have any kind of response to Micah thinking it was a system situation more than Jalen and what he's been able to do?
Honestly, I'm not familiar with that yet. I don't. Yeah, I imagine someone will bring it to my attention next week. I don't know. I don't know. We're worried about the Bears. No, Bears only. Go ahead, John.
Jalen right now leads the NFL in completion percentage from the pocket. What have you seen he's most improved on?
Some interesting stats. They can pull any stat.
73% from the pocket. Right. His anticipation throws, the timing throws, and the deep ball throws from the pocket. What is he most improved on?
I think what he's most improved on is just his timing with everything of how we see in the field. It all starts with that. Like, you can be as accurate as you want. You can be the most accurate person in the world, but if you're not seeing it in time, these defensive backs close quick, and if you're not seeing it at time, these defensive linemen can close quick. So I think the biggest improvement, and that he just keeps getting better at, is his vision and how he's seeing it, and it's because he works his butt off. He's always here. He's always in this building. It doesn't matter what time of day. It doesn't matter if the players are in that day or not. He's always here, always working on his craft, always working on, getting his body physically ready, always working on his mind, making sure that's mentally ready. Tribute to Jalen. He's a stud.
All right, thanks. Locker room's open.
Thanks, everybody.